Hello, good people, and welcome back to AVID Unit 5 on Intro to Tutorials. We're going to go ahead and hit TRFs real quick today so that we can make sure we know what we're talking about. We can make sure we know what we're doing so that when we fill out an actual TRF, we don't just kind of like stumble our way through it and kind of like BS around. We know what we're doing and we make sure that it's correct. Okay, so remember, a TRF is a tutorial request form. In order for you to be placed into a group for tutorials and to participate wholeheartedly in discussion and be engaged and help other people and get your own questions answered, we first have to know what your question is. All right, so, this is my face when I pop a tutorial request form in front of you and you're like, oh, they were going. Nope. All right, so we're going to go ahead and walk through a TRF piece by piece. Here we go. All right, so this looks just a little bit different than it normally does. I had to like fake it till I made it and like put screenshots in here to make it into an actual TRF. So that's that. All right, so first and foremost, we have to make sure that we have got an actual question. Okay, so before you start filling things out and you're like, why is the sky blue? No, that is not what I want. That is not the purpose of a tutorial. That defeats the purpose of this whole class, okay? If you have serious questions in other classes, if you're like, I don't have any questions, yes, you do. Find me something that you can work on, something that you can refine, so that you can have a legitimate TRF. If you BS your way through this, I will figure it out, and I will mark you down for it. Don't do that. There's no reason to do that. We are trying to help one another. We are trying to make sure that we are the most successful academically that we can possibly be. So let's do that. Okay, so first and foremost, get your subject. Make sure you have your essential question. If there is not one posted, you can make one. Okay, please do not leave this blank. All right, so here up at the top is your rubric. So all this pre-work over here is 12 points. Your resources that you list are 1 point. Your inquiry and collaboration is 2. Note-taking is 3. So make sure that if you have good notes, that helps you out. If you don't have good notes, that might be part of the problem of why you're confused. Your reflection is also a heavy chunk of this, and then your total is out of 25. So each one of these points is worth 4 apiece because we're making it out of 100. Okay, so there is that. Make sure you have your original question, some academic vocab, what you already know about your question. If you have more than 2 things and you want a number like 3, 4, 5, and 6 over here, do so, okay? Make sure that you tell me as much as you possibly know about your question in advance, though. All right, and now show me your critical thinking. Remember, critical thinking and then process and steps are not the same thing. So if you want to do, I typically tell students to do this side first, the identify, general, process, and steps, and then you can explain them to me and kind of how you arrived at whatever conclusion you are at in your critical thinking. So I strongly suggest that you do general, process, and steps of whatever problem you're having first, walk through it, and then critical thinking, be like, well, this is first because X, Y, Z. This is the second step in the process. I'm not really sure about what this is because blah, 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 okay? And then once you do that, you can identify your question from your point of confusion. Okay, now that's your pre-work. This whole page is your pre-work. And now during your tutorial, please make sure that you write notes down about what people are saying, what people are asking, that sort of thing. I'm definitely going to take that into account. If you just sit there and you don't take any notes and you don't participate, that's not going to bode well for you. Okay, all right, and then over here, make sure that you take some three-column notes during the tutorial. So write the question, write the notes, write the steps down during the tutorial. Make sure that you have this there. All right, and then make sure you reflect on it afterwards. So this is our reflection. What's your point of confusion? What did you learn about it? You gained a new understanding because, like, how did you get to that point where you have clarity instead of confusion? And then why is this important? And what did you find meaningful about today's session? Okay, remember that is in total, that is 25 points for your TRF. All right, and that's all we got for today.